So this is Dennis Blair and David Satter, who were both at Oxford together in the class of '68. I was from Virginia, David from Illinois. We are now the leaders of the coalition of Rhodes Scholars who are concerned that in recent years the Rhodes Scholarship Program has lost touch with the original intent of the program and has drifted off into areas that are making it much less effective in producing public-spirited leaders and, in fact, not being true to the wishes of the founder, Cecil Rhodes, who started a very successful program which has produced very fine leaders, we think, for the last 100 years. So, David, what brought you to this cause?
Well, it was actually quite accidental because I've spent a large part of my adult life overseas, including in Paris, Moscow, dealing with Russian affairs, the former Soviet Union. And much as I valued my time at Oxford, I had lost touch with Oxford, and I had lost touch with what was going on with the Rhodes Scholarship. I began to notice that, in fact, the people who were being chosen struck me as rather odd. The criteria seemed to be far removed from the kind of excellence that we were taught to expect from the Rhodes Scholarship. Finally, I began to read the Rhodes publications that had been coming in, and I was literally taken aback by the emphasis on diversity, on identity, and the seeming indifference to achievement, excellence, and leadership, which I thought was the core of the scholarship. And the more I got into it and the more I became aware of the extent to which demographics seemed to be determining who was being selected, the more it occurred to me that something had to be done. And I wrote an essay on this subject for the Wall Street Journal. This led to my engagement with many other Rhodes Scholars, including many members of my class.
I had some of those same concerns, but for me, the driving consideration was that my career had been in the Navy. I was Director of National Intelligence, and I was very much aware of the challenge to the United States and its allies, the liberal democratic order, coming from these autocratic countries of China and Russia, who were increasingly cooperating together. And this, to me, was a tremendous threat to world progress, to all of the things that the United States and its like-minded countries have stood for. And as I looked into the current state of the Rhodes Scholarships, there seemed to be a complete blindness to the seriousness of this challenge. You know, the Rhodes Scholarship, when you and I were there, and to this day has this sort of motto, informal motto of fighting the world's fight. And to me, this was the most important fight of all, and it was absent from the Rhodes Trust thinking. The strategic plan for expanding the Rhodes Scholarship included more scholars from countries like China and Saudi Arabia and Middle Eastern countries that were autocratic dictatorships. I have never been persuaded that picking a few people from these countries will change those countries. The thing that changes them is to the liberal democratic countries to get together and to push them back. That motivated me to really challenge the leadership of the Rhodes Trust and Rhodes House to take a look at themselves and change back to some of the more traditional parts of the scholarship that you and I felt were important and benefited from.
I think it's no secret to anyone that American campuses today are very much concerned with identity questions. The Romans understood that no man can be a judge in his own case, and yet we have feminist activists who are supposedly specialists in women's studies gay activists who are supposedly specialists in gay studies. There's nothing wrong with studying these subjects, but making them the focus of one's whole intellectual uh, concentration deprives people of the wider world. You're basically specializing in yourself. So much of this is going on that I suppose that it was inevitable that it would spill over into the Rhodes Scholarship and into the kinds of people we were selecting. As I looked at the lists of the winners, that this was becoming extreme, and also that we were failing in what Rhodes intended, which was to choose a number of people capable of taking advantage of this outstanding opportunity to do something for society that was out of the ordinary. What we seemed to be doing instead was preparing people to fight with each other. And that was not, I'm sure, what Rhodes intended. It isn't what I would have personally thought was very important. And so, of course, I became involved. I've talked to other Rhodes Scholars, and I know that this is a feeling that is widely shared. It's not just me and Dennis or the other members of our group, the Alliance of Rhodes Scholars. It's a sentiment that is held by many people that the scholarship has gone in the wrong direction and that something has to be done.